Right up at 7 o'clock, and we're continuing to follow that breaking news in Kerr County. Kurville Emergency Management says those living within 100 yards of the Guadalupe River need to move to higher ground right now. They also say there are homes and apartments in that area that are taking in water.
And we've seen some video online that literally makes the Guadalupe River there look like the Colorado River. Water is flowing through there unbelievably. We spoke with Kurville Management Services just a little bit ago. They said first responders are making numerous high water rescues. Here's what Sergeant Lamb had to say about what's happening in Kurville right now.
We've got localized flooding in town. Bear Creek Bridge, Francisco Limas and G Street are about to be underwater. We've got flooding along Guadalupe Street and the Herzog area. We're evacuating apartments and residences. The reunification area is at Walmart, which is 2106 Junction Highway.
Again, the unification site, anybody that's evacuated or being taken out of their homes is the Walmart at 2106 Junction Highway. It's right there on the right-hand side of the road. KENS 5's Rania Kaur is en route as we speak. She's going to bring us a live report on current conditions as soon as she gets there.
Right now, we want to get a meteorologist, Paul Morales, for the latest in the forecast. Paul, that area is getting hit so hard this morning.
Disastrous flooding and life-threatening flooding. This is one of those particularly dangerous situations there along the river. I'll show you that here in just a second. Today is a KENS 5 weather impact alert day. Flooding is possible. It's occurring in some places. So it's one of those days where you want to stay aware, especially this morning. Okay, the river at Hunt, the Guadalupe River at Hunt, I believe is cresting as we speak at 34 feet. Flood stage is 10 feet. That is way above flood stage, and it's running at 175,000 cubic feet per second. It is just raging right now. Stay away from the rivers, stay away from creeks, stay away from streams, any kind of low water crossings. This is one of those days that even if you have to get to work, just don't do it. At Ingram, same thing. Kerrville, big major flood. I mean, these are major floods. It's one of the highest. It's going to crest here 8 o'clock this morning at around 32 feet. Flood stage is 9. Way above. Matter of fact, major flood stage is 20, and we're going to crest pretty close to 32, it looks like, coming up here in about an hour, and it's running at about 150,000 cubic feet per second. So flood warnings on the Guadalupe River. This is one of those dangerous situations. We've got a flood warning in effect for western portions of Kerr County. Also now, well, really for all of the western portions of Kerr County and the northern portions of Bandera County, and that is until 10 o'clock. By the way, if you live downstream, if you're in the 50-year floodplain all the way down to Comfort and into Kendall County, move out because you will flood in this kind of a situation. So if you're in that 50-year floodplain, get out because homes are going to be flooded. Again, disastrous flooding happening. All right, here's the setup and the situation, and I was talking about this yesterday, how this could possibly happen, is at night we have a thing called the low-level jet. And what happens is, during the day, the atmosphere is doing this, right? Well, at night, it really becomes stratified. And so at about 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 feet, you have a thing called the low-level jet. And we've got a lot of tropical moisture in place. Part of that was from Barry that made landfall several days ago down in Mexico, where we're dealing with the leftovers. And so you have that low-level jet, and what it does is it just keeps feeding these showers and storms. And if you get enough showers and storms in one location, then you get almost kind of a feedback effect in a mesoscale convective system, and that's what we've got going on right now. This is going to be slow to clear out. Once this gets started, it's really hard to stop it. And so here in Kerr County, it's just going to continue to rain. In Guadalupe County, it's going to continue to rain. And we may have another band that sets up here, but now that the sun has come up, that may not happen. So what probably will happen for Bexar County now is we'll just continue to have moderate rainfall to light rainfall. The streets are just going to continue to be wet, and it looks like the flooding situation may just continue for at least the next several hours up here in Kurville and up in Kerr County. One thing I have noticed is it looks like this pattern is getting disrupted a little bit. These cells are not nearly as heavy as they were before, thank goodness, and that is good news. All right, looking at the rainfall rates, yeah, I'm noticing that those are coming down, and that is good. We've got some heavy rainfall rates here. I'd estimate at around 2 inches per hour. That's approaching Harper, and you can see some pretty decent rainfall now from Kurville over to Fredericksburg and now into Kendall County as well. How much rain has fallen? Well, just this morning alone, anywhere from 5 to 10 inches of rainfall, and a big bullseye right here, and that feeds right into the Guadalupe River. river. And so all that water is going to continue to run downstream. And that's why if you live in that 50-year floodplain here in Comfort and into Kendall County, you need to get out of there because it is definitely going to flood those homes there. All right, flood watch is in effect until 1 o'clock for most of the hill country, including Kerr County. We still have the potential for some heavy rain, but it looks like for the most part it's going to stay on the moderate side, but it will continue, it looks like, all the way till around noon. And then finally clearing out a little bit. Highs today will be in the mid 80s. And this evening, for those that want to celebrate the 4th of July, who doesn't? Temperatures low to mid 80s, mostly cloudy skies, but it should be rain-free this evening. Okay, so here's our complex. This is the complex of thunderstorms, and again, notice how it's starting to spin a little bit. It's almost like a tropical kind of a situation here, like a tropical storm, and it's going to continue for the next several hours like this. But once the sun comes up, it should disrupt the flow into it, and it should change a little bit. But right now, it's going to be slow to dissipate. So what I think is going to happen, what is left over probably won't go very far, will probably be close to us. So tomorrow may serve as the focus for additional thunderstorms across the area. And then finally, I think as we head into Sunday and Monday and Tuesday, I'm not going to take the rain completely out. We just have way too much soil moisture, and the high is not that strong. Plus, we get a disturbance here that's coming in for Tuesday and Wednesday. So most of next week, we'll have isolated to scattered thunderstorms in the afternoon. Dust is not going to be a problem for us until, boy, look at this bright spot. That is significant Saharan dust that's going to come around and will pay us a visit on the 10th and the 11th. And at that time, we could have some problems with if you're sensitive to the air quality, could have some problems here. Okay, all the way till about noon, I think. We've got a chance for some rain. Then we may see just a little sun late this afternoon. And then this evening, could be more thunderstorms that develop over here across our eastern counties, but during fireworks for us, I think we should be dry. We're going to be really close. All right, molds 1,000 and heavy. Let's take a look at that 14-day forecast today. 87. Over the weekend, 90 to 93. For this time of the year, you cannot beat these temperatures, that's for sure. Tomorrow, about a 30% chance of a thunderstorm. And then next week, mid-90s with about a 10 to 20% chance of a shower each and every day. And then I've got impact days for the 10th and the 11th as Saharan dust comes back. And then a slight chance of isolated showers the 12th, 13th, and 14th. And really not bad as far as temperatures go. Really not bad at all. All right, let's check on traffic. What is going on out there, Sarah?
So we are still tracking Kerr County, Paul, at this hour, just due to the situation that is developing out there. The time is now 7:08, and here is a live look on our TransGuide camera of I-10. You can see it is passable at this time, and I imagine it'll stay that way just because of the way the road is built. But again, drivers are getting by. We have a little bit of water on the camera, possibly indicating that rain is still falling out in Kerr County at this time. If you're traveling into Kerr County, please be careful. Highly don't recommend it. Just given the situation that again is developing, but we do have a crew out there and we should be able to bring you a live report there here shortly. Over to our map, I'm going to tell you what we are learning here back at the station from the city of Kurville. We've been speaking to the police department to get updates and tell you what is exactly happening out here. For now, we do know local streets in town are flooded. Low water crossings are impassable. Anyone near Guadalupe River needs to get to higher ground right now. We have reports of evacuations happening. So again, folks, if you are out in the Kurville area, this is a very serious situation as we saw a lot of rain overnight. Local streets are flooded at this time. So if you are able to stay safe, I would stay home. But again, if you're near the Guadalupe River area and you need to get to higher ground, do so as soon as you can. In San Antonio and Kerr County, we've been really fortunate throughout the morning. We haven't seen any reports of water rescues, anybody getting trapped at low water crossings or high water crossings. It's been a fairly quiet morning, and that might be because of the summer break. It also may be because of the July 4th holiday. You can see here on our map, we are just monitoring a few stalls. We do have one flood-related closure that's going to be at Maltzberger Lane by Wurzbach Parkway. We are still under a flash flood watch, though, until 1 p.m.
All right, thank you, Sarah. And this just in from Kurville. This is a look at just how bad the flooding has gotten in that area already.
Yeah, this is video from Umaro Ramirez on Facebook. He said this was filmed at a park, and we believe it's Louise Hayes Park. We don't have that confirmed, but 5 feet from the bottom of the bridge, you can see that water. And that could mean, this also could mean this is Kurville Shriner Park. But we do have an update from the city of Kurville. They say Louise Hayes Park and Kurville Shriner Park are currently closed. They just posted that 8 minutes ago. All entrances to Louise Hayes Park and Kurville Shriner have been closed. Kurville Shriner Park is currently evacuating the mini cabins there, and they have just a really terrifying photo posted on their Facebook that looks just like this video, water up to the windows of some of those cabins.
Yeah, and they say obviously the 4th of July celebration that was planned there at Louise Hayes Park, they just posted this on their breaking news webpage that, you know, because of this flooding, their 4th of July celebration there is closed. We also have a list here of the current roads that are closed due to the flooding. Arcadia Loop, most of Thompson Drive, Guadalupe Street, Rio Robles, Riverside Drive, they're all closed. They also say Louise Hayes Park, the site of today's scheduled 4th of July river event, is currently flooded, and it's going to stay that way for quite a while because everything upstream obviously is just coming down.
Oh yeah, and we know they've been having a lot of water rescues in that area. Paul, this really is just a dangerous situation.
Oh yeah, I don't know if we can go back to that video, but you know, that's where I was during the eclipse, right? And it's hard to really get a perspective on how deep that river is. But you see, there's the bridge, and usually, if I'm not mistaken, usually down to the river is about 20 feet.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, so that just puts
Every bit.
yeah, every bit of 20 feet, if not more than that. So yeah, I mean, this just doesn't put it in perspective at all.
Now,
unless
Paul,
you
I don't think that's the roadway of the bridge right there. Those trees and everything that close to the road, I don't believe that's the bridge itself, but I think that is the road that runs parallel to the park there.
Okay, yeah, but usually it's a pretty good drop.
Yes, absolutely it is.
Yeah, and it's getting close to the top of that bridge.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
And then around 6:32 this morning, the city of Kurville and police also said anyone in the Rio Robles RV park should have already evacuated River Oaks Apartments, Water Street, Herzog. So definitely all these people really being affected. They said water is rushing into some homes and apartments.
And if you're going along the road there that runs along the Guadalupe, just north of Kurville, that runs on up to Ingram and Hunt, that area, Jellystone Park, that our big RV place is right there on the left-hand side, on the west side of the road. They're evacuating a lot of different people.
Hey guys, I have live on the phone Stacy Leparati with the 4th in Kurville. She has some big news.
All right, Stacy, what do you have?
Morning. I can't say good morning because it's not a great one here in Kurville. Unfortunately, the Guadalupe River has flooded here in Kurville. So all of the 4th of July festivities today that were at Louise Hayes Park have been canceled.
All right, Stacy, can you give us an idea? Have you been out in the area? Can you tell us what's going on up there?
Absolutely. So I live outside of town, but I drove into town this morning, and they had started to evacuate a lot of people in Kurville from Guadalupe Street, from Water Street, and I drove over the bridge of Louise Hayes Park, and the water was almost touching the bottom of the bridge. I'm hearing that it's floods that we've never seen before. We've lost everything at the festival grounds. Our stage, sound equipment, everything that we prepped yesterday all day. I was in the park from 8 to 6. But all of our people are safe. All of our sound engineers got some of their equipment out. They're all safe. And we are opening up the doors of Arcadia Live, which is our sister nonprofit, for any refuge today of people in Kurville that are getting evacuated from their homes.
And Stacy, we're watching some video now that was sent in by one of our viewers, Gamaro Ramirez from up there as well. And obviously just looks like a lake, a giant lake. North, as you head north, as I was just saying, of Kurville, up there around where the Walmart is, the Jellystone RV park, all of that, is water up? And we'd gotten a report a while ago that they were evacuating people out of Jellystone Park, those RVs and everything. How is everything?
Sense.
And there's a mobile home park just north of there. I would imagine that entire area has to be flooded.
Absolutely. And, you know, the cities around us, Ingram and Center Point, have many RV parks on the water. So we are concerned and hoping that everybody got out safe. Again, we are just praying for everybody's safety right now. And we want to be here for anybody that needs a place to evacuate to. You know, we sit up high across from the river, and so we overlook the river, so we are in a safe place. But our hearts go out to everybody that is being evacuated.
And Stacy, when you say y'all lost everything at those fairgrounds, what are some other items that were lost there? I know a lot of those vendors, they go the night before to set up.
Well, fortunately, all of our food vendors were not there, but we did have our stage, brand new stage this year. We did have all of our sound equipment. Our sound engineers had all their things down there. We had all of our sponsors' gear down there. I mean, water bottles from HEB, koozies, bandanas, all these things to give away. And RV, which we office out of, is gone. I mean, everything we had set up is gone.
We had spoken with a police sergeant a little bit ago, and he had said there are some apartments there close to the river, some homes across the river, that they are physically pulling people out of those apartments. Can you tell us anything about that?
I have not seen anything about that. Like I said, when I drove into town, I did see quite a few police officers heading down towards the river, towards the homes, but I cannot speak on that.
Have you been up by the Walmart? They're saying that's the reunification area. They'd like everybody there that's been either rescued or forced out of their home to come up into that area. Have you been up in that area at all?
No, I have not. I have just been here on Water Street in front of Arcadia Live.
So yeah, for people who don't know, again, tell them what Arcadia Live is and how y'all are kind of pivoting to instead help people out who are being displaced today.
Arcadia Live and Kurville's Fourth on the River are the same nonprofit. Arcadia Live is a theater that we have year round, and Kurville's Fourth is the festival is our main fundraiser of the year.
So if you can, for those who don't know Kurville, who've not been up there, can you give us an idea how close to Water Street, how close the water is to Water Street, and geographically where it lies in relation to the river?
So Water Street is a bit higher up than the Guadalupe River, which we're thankful for because that's what we are located on. We sit in parallel with the bridge that was built. It's like a 100-year flood bridge. And so the bridge, luckily the floods have stayed under it. But the rest of the park on the south side, that's where the devastation lies, underneath of us.
All right, now you all also had two really back-to-back yearly floods in '86 and '87. Were you there in '87?
No, I was not. I moved here in 2020, so this is only the second time that I've seen Louise Hayes Park flood like this.
Yeah, last time I feel like we've seen it flood like that as well, but never this bad. You know, just from where you can see your vantage point, you know, tell us a little bit about what you're seeing.
I mean, we are standing outside of Arcadia, and the water is sitting just below that bridge.
So
we can't see anything. There's an amphitheater in the park. We can't see that. And the water is moving fast as well.
Now that bridge, Paul and I were talking about this just a moment ago. That bridge realistically is, Paul had said it 20 feet. I believe it's higher than that. That bridge that goes over Louise Hayes Park. Oh. Can you give us an idea of just how high on a normal day it is from the road level of that bridge down to the water?
I do not know that answer, but it's very high. It is built based around the flood we had 100 years ago. So it's built to withstand this, and we're thankful for that. And
as you look from the east side, the town side of that bridge, looking across the bridge, across Louise Hayes Park and everything, describe what that normally looks like on a normal day. As I recall, it's a huge open field area. Yes, that bridge stretches out across. What does it look like today?
It's a couple of acres of beautiful grass, typically with amazing oak trees. Today, like you said, it's a lake. It's a lake. But hey, I have to go here. We have some tour buses rolling up. As you can imagine, the bands are already in town. So I need to make my way to speak to all of them.
All right, Stacy, thank you for taking the time to speak with us this morning. Good luck.
Thank you. Stay safe. So that was Stacy Leporetti with the Kurville 4 celebration. As you know, and you've probably heard by now, that celebration has been canceled. They lost a lot of their gear and a lot of things that they had set up there at Louise Hayes Park because that water just came rushing up from all of that torrential rain overnight. Stacy Leporetti did tell us that Arcadia Live, which is a nonprofit, they're opening the Arcadia Live Theater now on Water Street to anyone who needs refuge, who has been displaced from those waters overnight. So definitely, if you need help there in Kurville or in the Kerr County area, Arcadia Live Theater can be a place for you, or the Walmart is that reunification location.